Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to Carvenus 14. Now today we're actually going to be doing a video, well, actually a bit more of a test to be fair, because this video is actually going to be dedicated to our favourite resident lecturer, Mornye. Now, the reason we're doing this video is because Mornye is currently on the banner, as you guys all know, and that means her weapon is also on the banner. Now, I've already done a video talking about Mornye and how she actually helps improve your account, at least specifically through Jinhsi. So, if you guys want more of a video talking about how she works, I think I've actually made a video about her on the channel. I can't remember, actually. It's been a long time. So yeah, or there's a bunch of guides out there, actually, that can actually help you with Mornye. So yeah, this isn't a guide talking about Mornye herself. This is a guide talking about Mornye's weapon and if it's actually worth getting. Alright, so basically that's what we're going to do. We're already here right now. I did actually attempt to try and do this video once before, but I screwed the rotation up and I accidentally cancelled the video. And because of that, I got screwed. So now we have to do it all over again. So yeah. Basically, I do want to show that my Mornye does currently have 265% energy regen, and that is with the Discord. And yes, I do actually have Mornye's weapon up to R5. I can go to R5 right now, but I haven't because, well, I wanted to do this video first, right? So yeah, now we're basically going to see different stages of this video, okay? We're going to see Discord Mornye, we're going to see Signature Mornye, and then we're going to see Signature R5 Mornye, okay? So, yeah, basically Mornye with Discord, which the refinement doesn't really matter, to be fair, because it's just the amount of concertos that she gains quickly. Then we've got Starfield Calibrator at R1, okay? And then we'll have Starfield Calibrator at R5. Alright, and that should basically be the entire video, and we can really see how big of a damage difference it actually is. Okay, so we'll be doing it on my Jinhsi, which is probably one of the better Jinhsis out there in the world, I would like to say. I mean, I've been playing this game since patch 1.0, and Jinhsi has been my only main since patch 1.1. Why? Because I'm a guy that likes to play the game for playing the game. I find it fun. I'm not a sweat who enjoys doing endgame content that much. I only care about, you know, the story, the exploration, the open world, all of that. So, because of that, I don't really care about pulling for meta. I only pull the characters I like. And so far, the only character that I like as a DPS is Jinhsi, and I've basically dedicated my entire account to just making Jinhsi as brilliant as possible. The only character I am missing is Zheji, obviously, but that was because I didn't have the ability to get Zheji at the time. It was either go for Jinhsi and get her to maximum, or go for Zheji, and I thought, well, Jinhsi's obviously better, so I need to grab her. So yeah, Zheji is permanently unavailable to me now, unfortunately, but we have Cantarella here. But anyway, that's besides the point. I've got a pretty decent Jinhsi build, I would like to say. I mean, crit rate is probably the only thing that's looking a little bit down right now, but everything else is actually pretty nice. I would like to get a bit more skill damage. The basic attack damage is unfortunately kind of useless with Jinhsi, but, you know, we got handed the bad card of the artifact substats. 54% spectro damage, which obviously will be increased because of different buffs and stuff, so yeah. And I do actually want to show off that I have R5, Jinhsi's weapon, because obviously anything to make her better. And I also have all of her talents at level 10, and her sequences are S6. So yes, this is an insanely high investment Jinhsi, guys, alright? Now, the reason I'm showing this to you is just to show you the level of power that I've got in my Jinhsi, because I don't want it to be a surprise, you know? I mean, some people might actually know that my channel through, you know, my videos and stuff, but people that are new here might not know what they're actually seeing. So, yeah. But anyway, guys, we have the Discord equipped, and so we are actually going to do this. We are actually going to do this, so let's do this, basically. And we're not going to be fighting the Kelpie boss, by the way, like I usually do in my tests, because the Kelpie boss can't actually be tune broken, and Mornye obviously needs tune break in order for her buffs to go off. So yeah, to get the full package, we need to go against something that can actually be tune broken, and well, Dragon of Dirge is the only other thing that I actually like fighting. So yeah, I'm not going to put myself through any more pain.
Oh.
Okay, 1.38 million. All right. Now, that is actually pretty damn nice. Okay, 1.38 million. Now, of course, the rotation was a little bit slow, but don't worry. Math says that I was actually perfectly within the timed rotation because I actually did completely forget to tell you guys, but I also do have Mornye at S2. Okay, yeah, I do have Mornye at S2, but I actually got Mornye at S2 when she initially came out in patch 3.0. That's why I haven't really considered, you know, I'm not really doing a comparison here, because if you want, I have actually done more Mornye videos back in 3.0, so a few months ago, basically. I already have Mornye videos up on the channel, so if you guys want more of a sequence or a guide or a damage showcase to show what Mornye can actually do for my Jinhsi from a baseline point of view, at least from an early stage, then go ahead and see that video. That, I'm pretty sure, includes the sequences and stuff as well. So, yeah. Now, 1.38 million. Okay? What we need to do now is obviously equip the Starfield Calibrator and see where we end up. So, the Starfield Calibrator. Oh, and mind you, I know what you're thinking. Shouldn't Mornye be the one to trigger the tune break? No. Believe it or not, Mornye doesn't actually have to be the one to trigger tune break. She only needs to be on the team when the tune break happens. So basically, anyone can trigger the tune break, either Cantarella or Jinhsi, and Mornye's inferred marker thing will actually go off. Yeah, so that is basically why I still hit pretty high, despite Mornye not being the thing that procced tune break. And also, I do have to say, an important point, at S1, oh sorry, at S2, I think it's S2 actually, or is it S1? I actually don't know. S1 or S2? No, it's S1, yeah. So at S1, for those of you that don't know, Mornye's inferred marker or observation marker, whatever it's called, right? That actually does go from only lasting 8 seconds, all right, to lasting 20 seconds. Because 150% of 8 is, well, 100% of 8 is 8, and then 50% of 8, which is half of that, is 4. So 8 plus 8 is 16 plus 4 is 20. So yeah, 20 seconds basically. That's how long it is. So you've got plenty of time basically to actually work with. That's why I'm able to do the tune break so early on in the rotation as well, and still be able to get the damage off. So yeah. Anyway, guys, do we have Starfield Calibrator? Yes, we do. I want to check. Yep, that's Starfield Calibrator. Alright, guys, so this is R1 Starfield Calibrator. Let's see what kind of damage we're looking at now. So we need to beat 1.38 million. $1.46. Damn, and I didn't even need to burst that time. Yeah, 1.46 million, guys. That is actually really damn good. That is a huge increase. Yeah, that's like 80,000 extra damage. Yeah, from her weapon, which obviously is quite, it's actually quite high, right? Yeah, 80,000 is a lot of extra damage, all right? Yeah, so if 80,000 is actually the extra damage, then that means that we should be expecting an 80,000 damage increase here as well. Now, explain to you why. So basically, guys, going from Discord to Starfield Calibrator, okay, you basically gain 20% extra crit damage, right? So, when you actually go to R5 as well, you're also going to be gaining 20% extra, because all of the bonuses when it comes to substats going from R1 to R5, you actually increase all of the stats by double. So the 16% defense increase should go to 32%. All right, the 8 extra concerto energy should go up to 16, meaning the actual crit damage should go from 20% to 40%. So if we gain 20% crit damage going from Discord to Starfield Calibrator, that means we should also, and that was about 80,000 extra damage. Mathematically, we should also get an extra 80,000 extra damage, which means the number we're looking for here after 1.46 million is 1.54 million. Because obviously, you know, 1.46 plus 80,000 is 1.54. So, yeah. And now, with that in regards, let's do some, you know, something that probably will hurt a lot of people, but I'm doing it for the greater good. Alright, there we go. Now, I don't actually want to test, mind you guys, I don't actually want to test every single refinement, okay, individually. Because number one, that would take way too long. And number two, I believe in one thing and one thing only when it comes to going for refinements and copies for weapons. If you don't have the ability to go to R5, leave the weapon at R1. Now, why is that the case? It's very simple, really. It's because of the fact that at R5, it's a big enough damage increase from R1 to warrant the increase, okay? Because imagine you get like R2 or R3 or R4, okay, in the first, you know, what's it called? In the first round of banners that you pull for, okay? That's all nice and good, but now getting the extra copy of R5, it just doesn't really seem worth it anymore. You're telling me you're basically spending 80 pulls to effectively try and grab just a bit of extra damage. You see, from a long-term standing point, especially for free-to-play players, it's not very good optimization, okay? Yeah, that's why I'm a firm believer of this. If you can't go to R5, just grab the signature weapon. And if you can afford to go further than R1, always just go to R5, because only then is it actually worth the increase in, you know, cost. Because remember, you might have a bunch of astrites saved up, or you might have to spend a lot of money to actually get to R5, okay? It's only worth spending that money if you're getting your money's worth. And that usually never happens unless you always go to R5. Guys, I am a firm believer that weapon banners genuinely aren't really a great thing in these types of gacha games, okay? They never really give you a huge amount of power compared to sequences, right? Because sequences are directly tied to the character. They change the way the character's base kit works, and sometimes even their playstyle, okay? But weapons just supplement that. You can definitely live without getting a character signature weapon, you just won't be hitting as hard as players that can spend more. Okay, and that's never really a bad thing. So if this video comes off to you as saying, oh, you know, you need R5 to hit this level of damage, no, you don't, because 1.38 million with Discord is still an amazing number for Jinhsi. It really is. A lot of people, I feel as though, have gotten over-infatuated with hitting over 1 million damage as a baseline now, or getting 2 million damage is like, you know, what everyone should be aiming for. No, guys, in the open world for exploration, hitting 1 million damage is perfectly fine. Of course, it's a different thing when it comes to endgame combat and Tower of Adversity and Tactical Hologram and things like that. But even then, in that regard, you're not in a competition with anyone. You're not, okay? You won't be missing out on that many rewards either. Maybe a few astrites here and there, but it's not the end of the world, guys. If you aren't able to get that final 60 astrites or like 120 astrites, that's not even worth a pull, remember. So you're not really getting much out of hitting over 1 million, okay? It's just diminishing returns. And I feel as though that needs to be stated, because everything is just becoming over and over inflated. Because, I mean, I remember when hitting 1 million damage back in the beginning of Wuthering Waves was actually like the holy grail of numbers. Now it's basically a typical baseline that a lot of characters can actually hit nowadays, right? Yeah, I remember when back in the day, hitting 100,000 on a character was considered broken. All right, I remember a day when not Genshin Impact, sorry, when Jinhsi was considered the most overpowered character. That's how old I am when it comes to playing this game. All right, so yeah, maybe I do sound a little bit like an unk when I tell you this, but guys, I just want you to be careful, okay? Because these gacha games, even Wuthering Waves, they are out to get your money, okay? So please be responsible with what you're spending, all right? I'm not saying go out and spend. I'm saying this is what you can achieve if you do spend, but I'm not saying do it. Because at the end of the day, money is the one thing in life that is probably quite difficult to get, no matter how much of it you get, all right? You're never guaranteed money, and in fact, in an economy as today, you're never really guaranteed a job. So, yeah. But anyway, guys, mini rant out of the way. I just kind of wanted to emphasize that because, you know, I care for my people. I care for my viewers. I care for you guys that actually are looking at wanting to spend in the game and want to see what is getting your money's worth, okay? So, yeah, in my humble opinion, if you have the ability, just get, you know, Starfield Calibrator and leave it there. You don't need R5. You really don't. So, yeah, if you want to get R5, go ahead. But if you don't have the ability to, relax. R1 is perfectly fine. And even if you can't get Starfield Calibrator, Discord is more than fine. Okay? So, that's all I'm saying at the end of the day. Because this isn't just a showcase as well. It's also kind of a video to watch for people that actually want to see whether getting Starfield Calibrator to a certain level is worth it or not, okay? And I don't want to give the wrong message. I don't want to say that you guys need R5 to hit insane damage numbers. You do, but is insane damage numbers all that people really care about? Players like me aren't meta slaves. Why do you think I'm still playing with Jinhsi even after all this time? Playing with Jinhsi is a wild sentence to say. I'm not going to rephrase that because it's true, but no, I'm not saying it like that. Okay, so yeah, if I was playing for meta, I wouldn't even consider using Jinhsi at this point. I probably would have dropped Jinhsi at like 2.0 and gone for Carlotta. But I'm not. I play this game because I like it. I play Jinhsi because I like her gameplay. And no one has come close to being as fun to play for me as Jinhsi has. I love everything about Jinhsi, and that's why I do this. I do this for the other people that love Jinhsi just as much as me. Those people on, you know, forums and stuff that are, you know, Jinhsi mains, Reddit guys, and them lot, you know. I'm doing this for you guys that just want to see Jinhsi doing as much damage as humanly possible. And I will continue until I find someone else better than Jinhsi. Not in terms of damage, but in terms of actual character, their lore, their personality, their gameplay, their power level, everything like that. I'm a lore over game kind of guy. I love the game's lore as much as I love the game. I'm not a meta slave. I'm a meat slave, alright? A meat... We all know where we're going with this, right? So yeah, yeah, I mean, Jinhsi might not be the best looking character in the game, but she is the most beautiful character in my eyes, so yeah. And that's why we do this. Anyway, mini rant out of the way. I feel as though I dragged that on too much, but I'm not going to cut it out, because I feel as though it is kind of important to get that out there, okay, guys? Because at the end of the day, it's a gacha game. You will be inclined to spend money, not because the game forces you to, but because that's just what gacha games do in general. Wuthering Waves is no different. As lovely as a game as it is, as free-to-play friendly as it is, it's a gacha game at the end of the day, and people will consider spending money on it. Only do it if you want to, guys, and if you have the ability to do so. Make sure you're 100% secure before making a decision. Not just in games, not just in Wuthering Waves, but in anything in life. Assure that you are 100% confident in your own abilities, and then make your move. But for now, we have a test to do. And I think we are at R5, right? It's been a while. I've just waffled for so long that I forgot. So yeah, we are at R5. And as you guys can see, crit damage is increased by 40% whenever someone gets healed. So yeah, let's do this.
Oh, damn.
Okay, well, to be fair, that run didn't actually go as planned, I don't think. So, yeah, there was a little bit of a kerfuffle with Cantarella there, so we're actually going to redo this again. Oh, damn it, what the hell? Okay, this is embarrassing. Okay, let me try this again. It shouldn't be this difficult. It really shouldn't be this difficult. It's because I need to try and build up Tune Break on the enemy, guys, so that's why I'm doing it like that. Okay, nice. We did not crit. Damn, I'm actually gonna cry. I'm actually gonna cry, man. Like, what the hell is this? Alright, probably will have to edit some of this out. Unless I forget again, like I always do. Guys, I'm gonna get this. Yeah. 1.68. Wait, what? Wow. Hold on. Okay. All right. That is very interesting. So, okay, guys. First of all, 1.68 million. Okay, that's insane. Remember, compared to the 1.46 million we hit, that isn't an 80,000 increase. That is a whole 220,000 increase. Okay, yeah, which is actually kind of crazy. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, well, he probably did the run wrong. No, I actually didn't do the run incorrectly because all of the patterns and stuff that I did is actually just as the same, basically. The same rotations, everything is the same, right? Yeah, I did the double intro rotation with Jinhsi, and then also I did the tune break that was actually fairly, you know, recent. And yes, if you guys didn't know, I did actually do a test before this video, okay? So I tested both the Discord, and I did hit 1.38 million consistently, and I also tested the Starfield Calibrator and consistently hit 1.46 million. I only haven't tested the R5, right? And I hit 1.68 million. Now, what I am actually going to do is I will be making another video after this, but that's going to be comparing S2R5 Shorekeeper with S2R5 Mornye, because I now have both of them at S2R5, and we're going to see exactly how strong either one of them are. And this is the important thing, because I'm now going to obviously be doing some testing to see how consistent can I actually get 1.68 million? Because that's not a small increase. I mean, remember, we all expected, at least I calculated, an 80,000 increase because it was the same 20% crit damage bump, right? So technically, if we actually do the math, it should have been at 1.54 million, okay? But it wasn't, which probably does mean that, you know, at the end of the day, crit damage is obviously not added on additively. It isn't. Not like attack percent. Crit damage is obviously multiplied onto all of the other damage values that you're doing. So that extra 20% might have been much higher in R5 because we're multiplying by 40% crit rate rather than 20% crit. Sorry, we're multiplying by 40% crit damage rather than 20% crit damage. So maybe that's why instead of getting 1.45 million, I hit like 1.68 million. But still, that is insanely high. That's like 220,000 extra damage, which is ridiculously high. So yeah, of course, I will be going off screen now because the video is kind of already dragged out too long because of my mini financial old man advice type of thing that I did. So yeah, I apologize for that, guys, but you know me, I like to waffle in these videos and provide some nice life advice from time to time. So yeah. But anyway, guys, that's basically it for this video. So, yeah, 1.38 million with Discord, 1.46 million with, you know, Starfield Calibrator at R1, and 1.68 million at Starfield Calibrator R5. That's kind of insane. I'm gonna be brutally honest, that is kind of insane. So, yeah, I guess we'll see what the future brings and see if this was actually a consistent number or not. And even if it wasn't, we'll obviously be exposed in the next video anyway. So, yeah, maybe I did do something a little bit extra. So, yeah. But anyway, guys, that's basically been the video. I have been Carvenus14 and still am. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you all very, very soon. Goodbye.